For the last 2 weeks, the left have been tirelessly at work to burn every single ounce of goodwill that they had with normal people. An ideology that was once at the top of American culture, that controlled almost what every single actor was allowed to say, that demanded that every single business and corporation hoist their flag, have now reached a point where they are the laughingstock of the internet. And so if you're wondering what they did yesterday, well, if it's not defending fraud, if it's not attacking police officers, it seems to be about desecrating churches. So in their infinite wisdom, they found that a pastor has the same name as an ICE officer. Turns out that they were wrong. Turns out that it was just a name coincidence, and so they went into a church and committed what appears to be a crime, according to the Department of Justice that decided to press charges. So, you now have this gentleman. I don't know who he is, but as you can see, he went viral. He's got 1.5 million views, and he has opinions over what happened. Let's see if we can find out some of his grievances.
Yesterday, I went into a church with Nakima Armstrong and I protested these white supremacists, a pastor of the church.
Right, see, it doesn't work that way. Like, first of all, white supremacy, despite what many people believe, is not illegal in the United States of America. Now, if you commit crimes based on white supremacy, they can be a hate crime, but simply, quote-unquote, being a white supremacy is not illegal. If you don't like that, well, I guess you should petition your senator in order to try and change the Constitution, remove the free speech clause from over there, and then you can become more like Germany or like the European Union. Until then, you simply cannot attack people just because they're white supremacists. Secondly, even if you were to somehow manage to get legislation to pass in the United States that would make white supremacy illegal, you would still not be able to label a group of people white supremacists so that you can then attack them. Especially when, again, like, no court, no judge, no government institution has labeled the people white supremacists. You cannot just simply call them that. Like, imagine if I was to get 100 of individuals, label you a white supremacist, and then break into your home. Or, like, even in countries where communism is illegal, and there are certain countries like that, right? Even if you happen to live in one of those countries, citizens would not be able to label you a communist so that they can violate your business, your place of worship, or your home. Like, it has to go through the court orders. See, like, human beings have become civilized. We're not savages anymore. We do not run law based on the mob. And so when the mob decides to take matters of law into their own hands, they become criminals. And in a civilized state of law, they now have to be prosecuted.
Church is a fucking ICE leader in the city.
Right, so let's listen to that again.
These white supremacists, a pastor of the church is a fucking ICE leader in the city.
Now, I don't know what Protestant heresy those Americans practiced, but I don't see a conflict of interests in being a pastor and also having a job. Okay, so like, this guy is a firefighter, and in his free time, he's a pastor and does Bible studies. Why wouldn't that be allowed? This guy happens to be a police officer and is also a pastor and does Bible studies in his free time. Is there a problem with that? Is there a conflict? Again, I don't know, but like, let's assume that there is. As I mentioned before, I'm not very much aware of American heresies. I know that the Orthodox Church is the one true church, the only one through which you can achieve salvation. I am also aware that other people are heathens and pagans and they're going to burn in hell. And they created heresies starting from Martin Luther that had to nail some shit to a door, which confused people. And so I can only pray for them. Okay? But I do understand that they exist. And so their ways are mysterious to me. I do not know if you can be a pastor and an ICE officer. Fair enough. But you know what's interesting? I don't see this person getting upset when you have like a pastor that's transgender or a pastor that's LGBT. Like, if you genuinely care so much about the souls of your countrymen and you're so worried about the fact that, oh, well, this ICE agent, you know, he's upsetting Jesus, He's going to get my nephew into hell. Well, shouldn't you also be concerned about other pastors that happen to be transgender or other pastors that happen to be pro-LGBTQ that women cannot preach? Like, look, all I want is some consistency in our outrage. I just genuinely don't feel it. I don't feel that you're so upset that the pastor is an ICE agent. And like, it really bothers you because it's about Christianity and carrying the faith. And so I genuinely feel like you're trying to lie to me. And I have to wonder, like, why is that? Why are you trying to lie to the public? Why can't you be honest with how you really feel and why you really went to that church? Because, like, if you're lying about this, what if you're lying about the white supremacy as well? What if you genuinely, unironically knew that they're not white supremacists? And you actually knew that it's not a problem that they were an ICE agent and a pastor. So, like, the next question is, like, okay, why did you go there then? Why did you go? What was the real reason that you went there?
How can you be a fucking pastor and be a fucking ICE agent? Fuck them. They want to come after me? Fuck them. How can they live so comfortably while the fucking people from Somalia that are in this country legally, that have fucking citizenship, can't even go to their mosque and pray? How?
So let me get this straight. The perfect world is when everyone lives like Somalia. Like, if your ancestors, they went to a savage land that was filled with tropical diseases, that the journey was incredibly difficult, they got the plot of land, they fought the Spanish, they fought the French, and then, they probably died there being attacked by the natives, and, all the gruesome horrors that they were subjected to, and you're now telling them, like, look, all you're doing is for nothing because your children should actually live the same like Somalia. But, like, here's the other question. Do other American citizens want what you want? Like, have you talked to them? Is this, like, what people want? It's like, yes, we all need to live like Somalia. There are reasons why people live like Somalia, by the way. Some of them are geographical, others are historical. Like, so if my people are better at warfare, right? Which means that we're better at logistics, at creating systems, at creating civilizations, at discovering new technology, like, for instance, vaccines, and, worshiping Dr. Fauci and creating all of this shit. And we're creating fiat money, and we're discovering paper before everyone else, and we're actually building roads before everyone else does, and during the military, we have, like, formations and shit, and we develop pike and shit. We should still live like people who don't do all of that. Why, though? I say, why should you live like that? And here's another question, right? You want equality. Perfectly. Do you want white supremacists to stop paying taxes? Because I guarantee to you, people in Somalia don't pay the same taxes like they do in the United States. Right? So, like, what about, like, the people in the churches that are white supremacists and stuff? You want everyone to be, like, the same. So what would happen if everyone would just stop paying taxes then? How many Somalians do you think would remain in America if the entire welfare system was cut off? Can we have a conversation about that? And then it's also interesting, you're saying, like, they can't pray in mosques. I haven't heard of a single incident, not one, not a single incident. I'm pretty sure, like, it would have been on television everywhere if you would have, like, a group of Christians going in and disrupting a mosque service in the United States. Like, has there been such an example? Because I would condemn it. No, unironically, if Nick Fuentes would get, like, a bunch of groypers and they would break into a mosque while the people there are minding their own business and they're praying, I would say, yeah, no, like, I think the rule of the law should apply to them. Yeah, fair enough. So, like, what are you doing? Why are you talking bullshit? It's like the Somalians are not allowed to pray. Since when? Since when?
How do they deserve any fucking different? Fuck those fucking Nazis. Come and get me, Pam Bondi, you fucking traitorous bitch.
Yeah, so when you say come and get me, what you did wasn't journalism. It wasn't investigation. You literally went there in order to intimidate people from a religious faith. Unfortunately for you, in America, churches are actually protected. Having cameras doesn't mean you have immunity. And intimidating people is not journalism. And yeah, I don't think they're going to come after you. They're going to come after you the exact same way that leftists came after right-wingers that were disturbing abortion clinics. It's not allowed, right? Like, notice how in a perfect society, no one gets their way, right? You don't get to disturb churches, and right-wingers don't get to disturb your sacred abortion clinics. It's how civilization works. It's with compromises, and it's with rule of law. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.